My name is Moon Petrie. I love fall and I am doing the fall writing tag. The original was by Alexandra Rosalind, but I discovered the tag through Jessica Williamson, and I know it is not fall for all of you yet. It really feels like fall here in New England, but we're still having summery thunderstorms, even though it's chilly. It gets quite cold overnight. Question 1, crunching leaves. The perfect sound. What do you like to listen to while writing? So I do not tolerate music while writing, and I mostly go with silence, but I do really enjoy, not in the summer, but this time of year. And anytime it's chilly, which is about 9 months of the year in Vermont, I like the Netflix crackling fireplace videos. Although I have been known to forget it wasn't a real fireplace and start walking toward it to warm up my hands. Question 2, hot bubbling cider. What is your favorite thing to drink or eat while writing? I definitely love tea, usually black tea, but any kind of tea, herbal tea. And I also always have water. I don't eat while writing the vast majority of the time. I won't eat while writing because it's messy. Question 3, bonfires, the perfect night. Name your ideal writing conditions. So I have children and a husband, and my ideal writing conditions are being completely alone. So that can be hard to achieve for any length of time. And then I do like cooler weather when you can cuddle up in something cozy, tuck my feet in. And as so many other writers often say, I do like it when it's a little windy or a little stormy, a little rainy outside, or even snowing as it does so much of the year here. 4, pumpkin spice latte, something you used to like but now don't. So I used to write first drafts entirely by hand. It's been a little while, but I wouldn't say that I am never doing that again. I think that the quality was better, but it took so much longer. So I need to find a happy medium. But as for things that I will never do again, as a teenager, I would write in very dim conditions, largely by orange lava lamp. And now I am the adult telling my teenager, don't strain your eyes trying to look at that in the dark. So I don't like things super bright. If 100-watt light bulbs did not exist, I would be perfectly happy. But I don't write in near darkness anymore, or by black light. Nope. 5, Halloween, my favorite holiday. Now those are Alexandra's words. I am totally torn between Halloween and Christmas myself. What is your favorite part of writing a novel? So for me, the momentum, reaching a point 2/3, 3/4 or so of the way through and realizing how close I am and that things are sort of picking up speed and all sort of tumbling together, rolling downhill like it has its own momentum. Like I just have to try to catch up with it, keep up with it rather than dragging it along. That is my favorite moment, is realizing that that's where I am. 6, monsters and goblins. What terrifies you the most during drafting? So one thing that's scary for me about drafting is not knowing if I know my characters well enough or if they're coming across clearly enough, distinctly enough from each other. I'm not really, I don't start with character. And so I feel like it takes me time sometimes. It takes time to warm up to some of my characters. And so that can be scary. Do I even know this person well enough to be telling things from their perspective? And is always top of my revision list. So the question was phrased, the scariest part of drafting. But right now, the scariest part for me is what I hope is the tail end of revision, of this last polish that I really hope will get things really nice and clean. And, you know, if I do it right, then it'll be fantastic. And if I say it's done and I have failed to polish some spot, then I will feel like a total failure. So it feels like a ton of pressure, and it is stalling me out. I am struggling to even open my document in a way that I haven't in a long, long time. So that is the most terrifying thing right now. 7, hayride's a bumpy ride. What do you do to get over writer's block or to get inspired? So I don't use the catch-all phrase writer's block. I think it's way more useful, at least for me personally, to think about what the blockage is. So if it's, as I was saying, not knowing a character well enough, or it's a plot problem or not knowing what should happen next, a pantsing problem, or if it's confidence crisis or whatever it is, name it for what it is and then plan a strategy. So with the character stuff, write a short story about some point in their past before the novel starts. Ask what if questions. That is my favorite thing to do for plot or character issues. What if this happened? How would they react to it? And zero pressure, because it's all theoretical. It's not actually happening. It's in a separate document. It's not damaging your manuscript. So, but I tend to be a lister. And so when it comes to inspiration, also making lists and brainstorming that is not plotting, brainstorming that's just messing about is where I would go to for inspiration. 8, haunted houses, world building. What are some tips you have for crafting the perfect world? So this is question 8. I'm going to partially answer question 9 in the process. So one thing that I do is I start with setting, and that's just sort of accidental how it has happened, and not an intentional approach that I take, but that is what has sparked ideas for me in the past. And so when the setting is what you start with, you spend a lot of time exploring that to sort of find the characters, find the premise, find the plot, the stuff that comes up feels like it grows out of the setting. So starting with setting is a great way to feel really connected to your world. Maybe a little disconnected from your characters, as I said, but really connected to your world. And then the other thing is write portal fantasy, or in some other way have I always call it an Arthur Dent character, because I'm a huge Hitchhiker fan. So somebody to whom this world is new and fresh, somebody who will notice things, somebody who will ask questions and have to have things explained to them. And that way you will get greater access, feel it's easier to explain and to explore this world. 9, pumpkins. It all starts with a pumpkin. Do your story ideas start with characters, plots, setting, or something else? So I just want to say thank you so much, Alexandra, for acknowledging that some stories do start with setting. A lot of people, when they ask this question, are specifically asking, is it plot or is it character? And I get that that's how most people start, and how we judge the balance of a story. Is it mostly a character-driven story or mostly a plot-driven story? And we think about different writers in terms of, I really feel connected with their characters, or I really get caught up in the plot. Is it a page turner or is it deeply emotional, you know? So I get that. But yes, for me, always setting. And can I just say, while we are on the topic of pumpkins, that is probably my favorite word in the English language. It is just so satisfying coming out of my mouth. Pumpkins. 10, ghost stories. Share a spooky writing prompt. So when I first saw this tag, it was, as I said, Jessica Williamson doing it. At some point during the other questions, she mentioned having once had a terrifying nightmare about being attacked and murdered by a man made out of spaghetti and meatballs. And yet somehow this was not her writing prompt. I'm not going to suggest writing anything that specific. I am going to say, think about your nightmares and try to come up with a story based on them. Good luck to you, and I probably don't want to read it. It sounds terrifying. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you have done this tag, if you're about to do this tag. I tag you. Anyone who wants to do this. Tell me your favorite part about autumn in general or about writing in autumn. Tell me what you're going to be for Halloween if you have decided already. I have not. Until next time, my name is Moon Petrie, and good luck getting in the spirit of the season.